Hello, my friends. We are back in the kitchen again, and we are cooking with Thrive. So I know a lot of people keep their Thrive for and their other freeze-dried foods. They keep them for long-term emergency storage, and I do as well. Don't get me wrong, I do as well. But there are some things that are just too convenient, and some days where I really love the convenience of being able to throw a few things together. And then there's also the need to rotate your stock, right? Just like anything else, although it does have a 25-year shelf life, you do want to, if you get something new, you want to rotate. So I'm actually going to open a 10-year-old can of freeze-dried hamburger tonight, and that is going to go into an enchilada bake, and that's going to be dinner tonight. As you can see is, can you see that? Here, let's go here under the better light. Freeze-dried beef cooked seasoned hamburger. So let's see what kind of seasoning it has in it. It has, well, I can't, you might not be able to see that, but I can. It's got freeze-dried beef, salt, spices, flavorings, corn protein, grill flavor, cornstarch, and corn syrup. Oh, that's interesting. How much sugar does it have? Oh, 0 grams of sugar, 15 grams of protein. Ooh, lots of sodium, 24% on the sodium. I don't know how happy I am with that. But anyway, that's what we're going to cook with today. And as you can see, let's look down here and see if you can make that out. Manufacturing date is January 8th, 2014. So I guess this is only 7 years old. And it does have a shelf life of 25 years. And it does say that you should mark the date you open it. So I will mark that date today. And then the other things that I have here is I have some corn. And although the recipe I'm using doesn't call for, I am going to throw in some onion. I've got some ground cumin. Let me go get my cookbook and I'll show you the cookbook that I'm using and the recipe that I am modifying. So, be right back. So, if you are ever in an emergency situation, it also will help for you to know how to use and cook with this stuff and how to modify some of the recipes that you might find. So, let's do that. So this is the cookbook that I'm using, and it's an older cookbook. It's by Kelsey Nixon, and I got it way back in, I don't know, 2013 or something. And the recipe that I'm using is this beef enchilada bake on page 68. So I am going to modify a bit. You can see that it asks for a can of condensed tomato soup and 1 cup of salsa. Well, I have some tomato sauce that I made, and I had 1 jar that didn't seal. So I am going to, here, I'll go over here so you can see these while I yap. So I am going to use my own tomato sauce and then add some ground cumin to it to bring in the Mexican flavor from the salsa. And yeah, oh, and then I'm not actually going to use my Thrive shredded cheese. I do, like, that's one of the things I keep on hand for emergencies in case I don't have shredded cheese on hand or cheese on hand. I mean, I've got some bricks of cheese that I need to shred up and get stored. But anyway, yeah, I have those. So let's get to it. I'm going to, it looks like all I have to do is cover everything. And this says to cover it with warm water. I'm actually going to just throw it into my sauce. I'm going to throw everything into a bowl, and I'm going to throw my sauce over it and stir it all up. And then I'm going to throw it into my baking dish and put it into the oven. So bake it for 15 minutes or until cheese is bubbly. So dinner should be ready in under half an hour. I'll let you know how that goes. It's a pretty good angle. And I don't have to hold you. So the recipe that I'm working with calls for 1 cup of my ground hamburger. And for being, I don't know, 8 years old, that looks pretty darn good for a hamburger. I'm going to throw that in there. And then it calls for a cup of corn. I knew that wasn't going to be quite a cup, so I did pop open another can of corn. And there's my cup of corn. Now, my recipe does not call for onions. And my sauce does have a little bit of onion, so I'm not going to put too much in. I just kind of want to spice up the flavor a little bit. So I'm going to grab a handful of these little onions and just kind of squish them in there. And then I'm going to add, the other thing I'm going to add to kind of beef up the flavor a little bit is a little bit of cumin. Now, this is the ground cumin, but you can also get cumin seed if you're storing it, and the seeds will store for longer. So I'm going to put about a teaspoon of that in there. And before I throw my sauce in even, I'm just going to mix that up a little bit. Already smells like an enchilada. Okay, and then this is my tomato. There's my oven. Good timing. This is my tomato sauce that I made yesterday and canned, and this was what I had left over. So we'll throw that in there. And then I had 1 jar that did not seal. So this food in here is going to soak up some of this moisture. So I'm going to throw about that much of that in there. That's about a cup. And then the other one was not quite a cup. Look at this little tiny spoon. I do have better spoons to mix with, but this will work. Okay, so you can see I definitely need some more sauce in here because I still need to put the tortillas in. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to put this other cup of sauce. Now, of course, you could use the tomato soup. What did it call for? Tomato soup and a cup of salsa. A can of tomato soup and a cup of salsa. There you go. Okay, so I am going to let this sit and let these soak up some of this moisture in here and kind of reconstitute. And like I said, the recipe calls for me to just put this into warm water and let it reconstitute. But I like to actually, if I'm going to be cooking it in a sauce or something, put it in the sauce and get the sauce a little moister than usual. And then I find that allows, like, my ground beef and my corn is going to suck up the flavor of that sauce. And that is going to be totally delicious. We've been soaking for a little bit here. And I've cut up my corn tortillas into just little chunks. And I'm just going to mix this all in here together, and everything has come together really nicely. The hamburger meat really fluffed up. Well, it didn't really fluff up because it doesn't really lose its shape when it's not like when it's dehydrated, right? The food doesn't really much lose its shape, and dehydrating everything gets all shriveled up, right? But when you freeze dry it, it maintains more of its shape and flavor and nutrients and all that stuff. And that's one of the reasons that I like to Thrive. And now, don't get me wrong, I've tried some of the other, like I've tried Augustin Farms, and I've tried the Mountain Merit, and I've tried several different ones. And I just find that, you want to taste them if you're going to be using them for long-term storage. I mean, you can take my word for it, but my taste may not be the same as your taste. So you get what tastes good to you, but I know this tastes really good to me. Anyway, so that is mixed up well enough. We're going to throw it into this greased cake pan. And let's scrape it to get every last drop. Oh man, I got some on the counter. Oh, I should have maybe used a smaller pan too. Oh well. That's okay. I like to have it thinner personally, and it gives more area for cheese coverage, right? So you don't, can you even see that over there? Hardly. Here, let me get you a little closer. Ah, look how delicious that looks, and don't look at my mess over here. We'll just kind of hide that. All right, now cheese. Now, like I said, I save my Thrive cheese for in case of an emergency, because I really want to have some on hand. It's something that we try to keep on hand all the time, is some type of cheese or another. And yes, I get the shredded, I get the pre-shredded stuff. I know, shame on me. But you know what? The convenience is sometimes more important to me than shredding my own cheese. Although, like I said, I do have some blocks in the other room or in the kitchen in the fridge that need to be. That's cold. It's still partly frozen. Look at it, it's a chunk of ice. Ah, it's so cold. All right, I'm gonna rinse my hands and, oh, need a little more cheese there. I like everything covered. There we go, that ought to do it. Well, that simply looks delicious. Of course, anything with melted cheese on top of it is usually simply delicious. I'll let it sit there for a few minutes and then we'll see what Mima and Stiff Dave have to say about it. We can barely see you yet. I'm sure I'll cut all of that out.
Oh, my hat!
Your hat!
Oh, boy.
Do you want the rest of your costume now, too?
No, this is enough. This matches.
Matches. But you have a whole dress and everything.
Oh, brother, I'm sure it fits me.
I'm sure it will. So one size fits all.
What do we got here?
We got Enchilada Bake. And the tall one is mild, and the short, skinny one is mild.
This one and this one?
Mm-hmm.
And what's the difference?
One was one batch and one was another batch.
Why do we have a difference?
I made them at different times.
Why do we need both bottles out?
I know that Dave really likes the short one. And I didn't know whether you would like... I didn't know which one you liked.
I don't care.
Like
I like
which...
the one that I know.
There you go. I guess that's a sign.
There. That it?
Yeah.
What's this?
That's salsa verde.
Hot stuff.
It's hot salsa.
I don't want that.
Yeah, no.
Not too salty. I don't think I'll throw it away.
Oh, that's good. It's Thrive.
You're kidding.
No, it's Thrive 10-year-old hamburger.
Really?
Yeah, or 8-year-old hamburger or something. And Thrive corn.
You mean freeze-dried beef?
Yeah.
Well, we haven't had that before, have we?
We have not.
I'm surprised. I thought it was real. It is real.
It is real. But no difference in the texture?
No, I
or?
can't tell the difference. I just thought it was hamburger.
Nice.
Huh, that's interesting. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
So when we're out here dying of starvation.
Yeah, we'll know what we can do. And that's why I opened this can, because it's old. You know, and I've replaced it with the newer freeze-dried beef. But, I mean, it's good for 25 years, so it would have been fine for another 15 years. But
it's old.
I thought, what the heck? Let's try it. And, you know, we're doing the whole Cooking with Thrive thing. Because I have to film it.
I'm watching a Stephen live. He's painting. He's painting an owl. So I'm seeing everybody on there. Matthew and Melissa and Stephen. And...
Say hello to them for me.
Okay.
Tell them I'd come visit, but I'm working. I'm cooking.
Is this an experiment?
Yes.
Oh, good.
It's pretty good, David.
Just what I want. Another experiment.
Sometimes the experiments are good.
Oh. Yeah.
It's an enchilada bake.
Okay. What is what?
The tall one and the one that's open are both mild. I didn't know which one you liked better.
I think it's the tall. I think.
And the green is for me.
That's good.
That's the hot.
I think it's that.
They should be pretty close to the same. I mean, kind of followed the same recipe for them. One's, I think, a little chunkier than the other. That was like the last of it there.
This?
Yeah. It's a bit runny.
Hopefully, I think this is my fork. Right?
I think so.
Oh, fine.
Yeah?
Yeah?
Good. Did you hear me telling Mom it's Thrive?
Yeah.
Perfect.
I figured that when you were out here
With all the
400
400 cans. 4, actually, honey. 4. 4 cans of Thrive. My cat is yelling at me. I totally forgot once again to film a goodbye, see you later when I was filming the original footage for this video that I'm editing right now. So here I am to say thank you so much for watching. I do really appreciate every single minute that you spend with me. Cooking with Thrive. If you have any questions, let me know. There is a link. I am a consultant. There is a link down in the description of all of my videos. So if you're interested in learning more about Thrive, you can certainly click on that link. And like I said, if you have any questions, just let me know. My email address is in my about on my page. So if you wanted to get a hold of me, you certainly can. Tabby's yelling at me again, so I guess I better wrap this up and say how much I appreciate you. If you haven't already, you should subscribe. Really, it's a great time around here most of the time. Sometimes it's a little bit nutty, but you can see, like, look, I have a green screen. How crazy is that? Anyway, take care of yourself. I will see you soon. Bye now.